Okay, it's a quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. And through my hay fever filled eyes, I want to jump into the top 10 things that every working class Brit really needs to know. So, the chances are, if like me, you were born working class in Britain, you've already got really a harder path than most. No one is going to tell you the real rules. I can only tell you the ones that I've found out and the ones that I've learnt along the way. So here are my top 10. So, rule number one, the system isn't designed to help you. No, no, no. Everything from schooling to housing to the job market, it favours the middle class up. And unless you're in that niche or you're in that cohort, you have got a harder path. And those are just bare facts. Benefits are a trap, they're not a ladder. You need to break free from them if you can, as soon as you can. Basically, if you want out, if you want to level up, a lot of the time it's not going to be by playing fair. And again, those are simple facts. Rule number two, you are allowed to say, and it is okay to say no to overtime. It might be against your financial needs, but let's face it, burnout is absolutely real. Companies, your employer, your PAYE job, they will drain you if you let them. And all you're doing is making them rich and probably knocking yourself into a higher tax bracket. And at what cost? You don't need to prove that you're a grafter 24/7, and certainly not in a PAYE job. Rule number three, pensions are real, and yes, they really do matter. And I think far too many working class Brits really ignore pensions. Now, not only is it a good way, obviously, to look after your future, that's first and foremost, it can be a way to save on some tax by overpaying or paying into a pension before you get taxed. So it can be a bit of a hedge against paying too much tax. And even small amounts, even amounts that you think won't mean anything, they mount up. It's a bit like compound interest. It takes a while to get rolling, and once it does, you're on that road. The state pension alone is going to leave you struggling. If you're relying on the state pension, trust me, A, it may not be there by the time you need it. You're just going to get robbed by whoever's in government at the time. But also, B, do you think you can live on £220 a week? If you can, then you're a better person than I, because I know that I can't. Rule number four is that owning your home isn't always smarter. Now, I almost own mine. Well, I say almost, I probably 60% own mine. But don't fall for the rent is dead money lie. It's not. It's just whatever meets your ends. If you value being geographically mobile, and you can move around to find work and chase the high paying jobs and not be trapped, not have to wait for 12 to 18 months to sell a home, then rent. It makes more sense. If you value and also want the headaches that come with a mortgage, because there are headaches that come with owning a mortgage, there's also risk and extra cost. If you want all of that, and you're hedging your bets that the property market is going to go up in some meaningful way, then get a mortgage. It's whatever suits your needs. There is no one size fits all, and renting is really no worse than owning. Not at the moment. That may change. The jury's out for now. But make it a choice. Don't make it a class badge. So rule number five, you can learn skills without uni. So people go into uni. When I was younger, it was just the thing that you did. You finished school. If you wanted to go into maybe the trades, or you wanted just sort of college light, you went into sixth form. When I was a kid, sixth form, they still kind of treated you like a school kid. Some of them, you still had to wear a uniform, even at like 17, 18 years old. So I opted for college. It just seemed like the more adult of the two options. Now, maybe that's changed now. I am a little bit out of the educational system, in case you hadn't noticed. But pretty much anything that you can learn at university, you can learn for free or for a fraction of the cost online. And that's the simple truth. Now, you will get told, mainly by universities and mainly by lenders and people that have got a vested interest in you spending the money they've lent you. You'll get told that university is the only way. There are jobs that now require a degree. But to be fair, if you went for that job and you can demonstrate that you've got the same level of knowledge as somebody that has a degree without one, and that you can do the job to the same level or better than somebody that has a degree without one, you would be able to get that job. I mean, it's not a prerequisite for every job. You've got all the debt, but you've got none of the fuss. Things that you can learn online. I mean, you can learn plumbing online now, for God's sake, but also you can learn coding, you can learn sales, marketing, you can learn design. All of these are high paid jobs if you're any good. University debt, let's face it, is brutal. And it's one of the only debts that you can't get rid of. It'll follow you round until you're in your box, and then they'll come knocking for it from your children. Apprenticeships and self-teaching work can also be an obvious way out of this. But yeah, learn new skills where you can. Learn them for free. Don't go saddling yourself with a lifetime's worth of debt. 60, 70, 80,000 pounds in some cases. Who wants to start their job hunt in their early 20s, possibly 60 to 80 grand in debt? It's backwards. Number 6, rule 6 is that rich people use loopholes. So why shouldn't you? Things like ISAs, things like pension tax relief, business expenses, for God's sake. I mean, look at what MPs claim. Crazy. Learn the rules. Stick within the legal confines of those rules, but learn the rules, learn the loopholes, and use them. They do it. Why shouldn't you? They do it, and that's why they stay rich. Why shouldn't you do it to retain some of your income? It doesn't need to be one-sided. Rule number 7 is that you don't need approval to start something. No one's coming to give you permission. Start small. Start a small business, maybe with £100. Test the water. Don't just dump 10 grand into something without any research. But start something small. Start quietly. Start with a little fart, and then build something, that turns into a mushroom cloud. It doesn't need to be all hands on deck, balls to the wall, throwing your life savings into a startup. You can start up a business. You can register a name and a web domain for less than 30 quid. But you can start a business in a small way and just try and grow it into something meaningful over time. And that brings me on to rule number 8. Side hustles are not a joke. They're survival for many, myself included. They're a path out for some. There are people that have done side hustles and that have done ridiculously well. Look at the young lad that created Gymshark. I think he's in his early 20s now, and he's got a company that's worth, I actually believe it's over £1 billion, its last valuation. So, it's possible. You can do it. You won't be the only one trying, but you can do it. And, you need to realize that side hustles, even if they just bring you in £200 a month, that could change your whole financial picture. That could change life for you, your family, for paying off a house, getting yourself of debt, out of debt, whatever it might be. It could change your life. £200 a month could be massive. Rule number 9 is that debt is a weapon. Make no bones about it. It's an absolute weapon, but it's only a weapon if you control it. Otherwise, it's an assassin and it's coming to get you. So controlled debt can build assets. Uncontrolled debt absolutely destroys families, and it leads to horrible ends. And I'll leave that there. And finally, rule number 10. You're not lazy, you're not tired, but you are underpaid, and you probably are, I'd say definitely are, undervalued. Don't let shame keep you stuck. There's no shame in failure. There's no shame in trying and getting things wrong. I've cocked up so many business ventures in my time, and each one has been a learning curve. It's been a lesson that I've then taken on to the next venture not to do. And gradually, you think of it as a flow chart: if this, then that. You work your way through. You try not to make the same mistakes twice, and you don't let it keep you stuck. There's no shame in failure at all. There's no shame in trying. The system wants you docile. It wants you obedient. It wants you to be a good little worker bee. Go out with your 9 to 5 job, earn your money, pay your taxes, and don't try and escape, because they want you to keep paying your taxes. But you need to get angry. And after you get angry and you're pissed off with your life enough to want to change it, you then need to get strategic and formulate a plan as to how you're going to change it. None of this is going to happen by accident. Nobody's going to do this for you. You need to do it for yourself. There are loads of different things that people can do to improve their financial situation, whether it's budgeting or whether it's creating a side hustle, whether it's learning tax loopholes and jumping through them, whatever it might be. There are loads of things that you can do. There's no excuse, really, with the access for now to the internet that we all have, until the next wave of government caps come in. There's no excuse for anybody to be ignorant to really any of this. If you want to learn about it, there are resources out there that can teach you. There are YouTubers that can teach you. Now, I probably wouldn't listen to too much of the waffle that I come out with, but there are people that are far more credible than me, that know a lot more than me, that you can learn from. Watch their videos, find out who's got the most views, who's got the most comments. Watch that person, work it out. But most importantly, just do it. Don't keep thinking about it and think, I'll do it when this happens. I'll do it when that happens. Don't keep putting it off. Just go and do it. Make a plan. Start that plan immediately, and be better, do better, and have more. There you go. So if you had a top 10, what would your top 10 be? That's mine. Those are things that I've worked out. And also obviously learnt along the way. Really keen to find out what your thoughts are. So look, YouTube's going to put another video there. I'm going to go off and enjoy what's left of the rain. And despite being rainy, it's still really hot, which I find to be a bit of a weirdness. But there you go. So like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. Probably another one tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.